Thank you for coming today. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for asking. It's been about a week since we've seen each other.
Right.
How's everything been going?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
hmm
How so?
Well, I've been going to my meetings every night, twice a day.
Yeah.
Calling my sponsor. I actually missed aftercare today.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to miss aftercare today.
Where's aftercare?
With B&B.
What time is that?
It's at 1.
Oh, because you had to pick up your son at 1:30.
Yeah.
Is it always at 1?
It's always at 1.
So you're never able to make it?
Yeah, I'm always making it. I've only missed the last 2 classes
How long is the class?
for an hour.
Oh, okay. It's at 1? But you got to pick up your son at 1:30? Somebody else pick up at sometimes?
No. I usually just do it. I have it on in my car. Listening.
Oh, like Zoom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's just make sure that we don't schedule anything around that if that's important to you.
Yeah.
And how many days a week is that?
Twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That's it. Tuesdays and Thursdays? All right. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. In the last session, we just talked about just some normal stressors and some triggers that led up to your relapse recently and how to avoid those.
Okay.
We discussed some vocational issues as well as, the upcoming housing inspection, and you're looking forward to that.
Yep.
Showed me the night and day, the before and the after. So it looks like everything is ready. I hope everything works out.
Yeah, me too.
That's on the 22nd?
It's tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Okay. And this is they gave you a checklist. You was able to check off everything that needed to be done.
Got everything done.
Okay.
It's absolutely gonna pass.
Yeah. That's good. For homework, we were talking about, just basically just what you said earlier, going to your NA meetings and staying on top of your recovery, attending to your relapse prevention plan, speaking with your sponsor as often as you needed to in regarding to stay calibrated in that way. How did that work out for you?
Been doing good.
Yeah.
Keeping my urges and triggers and all that stuff in order.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
And on Sunday, work on my step study.
Mm-hmm.
On Sundays.
What step are you on currently?
Still on step 2.
Mm-hmm. Which is what? Right. It's hard to work on a step if you don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, Sunday we're gonna start working on 2. I mean, I'm on 2. I just got finished with 1.
Mm-hmm.
Identifying, saying you got a problem.
Right.
Knowing that or whatever. But 2 is what we're gonna be working on Sunday.
Okay. Let's look up 2 real quick.
I looked up just for today. I had that. I got it screenshotted right here just for today.
Okay. Read it to me, please.
The meditation, yes. I got it in my notes when I was pull it up.
Step 2 is, I came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Okay.
And I have my workbook, and we're going to start working on that this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Detachment. Many of us come from several damaged families at times. The insanity that reigns among our relatives I can't talk. I can't see it either. Okay. Our relative feels overwhelming. Sometimes we feel like packing our bags and moving far, far away. We pray that our family members will join us in recovery, but to great sadness, this does not always happen. Sometimes, despite our best efforts to carry the message, we find that we cannot help those we hold most dear. Our group experience has taught us that frequently we are too close to our relatives to help them. We learn it is better to leave them in our higher power's care. We have found that when we stop trying to settle the problems of family members, we give them the room they need to work things out on their own. By reminding them that we are not able to solve problems for them, we give ourselves the freedoms to live our own lives. We have faith that God will help our relatives. Often the best thing we can give our loved one is an example of our own ongoing recovery. For the sake of our family sanity and our own, we must let our relatives find their own ways to recover. Just for today, I will seek to work my own program and leave my family in the care of the higher power. And that's fun that it says that because, when that happened about the alcohol or whatever, it
Right.
was my relative's alcohol.
Right.
That's
That spoke to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know that, you can't really do nothing about her issues regarding recovery. You have to just focus on your recovery and do what you need to do for your recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe by leading by example,
Yep.
she might, change and move towards recovery.
Just
And maybe not,
yeah.
but right now you got to walk on the walk for you.
Right, that's right.
Okay. Today we're going to talk about relapse prevention. I think it's most appropriate, especially regarding what occurred recently. All right, give your handout, okay?
Okay.
Here's a handout for today's session regarding reducing relapses.
So colorful.
I know, right? It's all pretty. Before we get into that, let me ask you a few questions. What types of situations or events trigger a relapse?
Like watching movies.
What kind of movies?
Like with drugs in them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes nightmares.
Nightmares trigger you to want to?
Sometimes, yeah.
What do your nightmares usually consist of?
Drugs, like drug use and stuff like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. How often do these nightmares occur?
Well, here lately, it's been about 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go and come, and sometimes I won't have them for weeks at a time.
Is there anything leading up to the nightmares? Any
Like
incidents?
I said, like if I watch a movie, if I start seeing, I read the stuff that has in it, like the Netflix tells you all that.
Right.
But then, almost every movie that I've been watching here lately seems like it has some kind of drugs or something related.
So you probably should watch romantic comedies.
Probably, yeah. So I'll just turn it off and watch something else.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets my mind to thinking.
Yeah.
So I'll reach out to someone. Like, that's my main thing I got to get better at is, like, reaching out for help. No.
That's what it is. That's what it is. A lot of people, sometimes our pride gets in the way. Sometimes our shame might get in the way because we feel that way. It's not, no shame should be in the way we feel. Shame should only be, and not even that. The only thing that's negative about thinking is nothing. It's the behaviors that's the problem. Don't let your thinking, your negative emotions lead to negative behaviors.
Right.
That's where the problem lies, not in the way you think.
Right.
Because you can change the way you think. You can
Right.
move away from the way you think, get the support you need to help you, assist you removing yourself from the way
Changing
you think.
your thought process.
Right. Think differently, feel differently.
Well, it's one thing of thinking and one thing of acting out.
Right.
I read that in meditation too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it was last week it was saying something like that. Not to act out on your negative emotions and stuff.
Right.
And I just got to get better on my coping skills.
Yeah. Now there's going to be a strong focus on these sessions going throughout, giving you a more definitive therapeutic toolkit for you to draw upon so that you can be okay, you know what I'm saying? We don't want it just to be like, well, I know journaling and I know deep breathing. No, we want a multitude to pick from. That way, when you're in a situation or when you find yourself feeling a certain way, that you can draw on them in order to get to a better place, in order to alleviate going down one of those dark paths that has so many consequences linked to it, especially with your CPS involvement.
Right. Also, got this new medication that I'm taking. I just started. Tried it last night for the first time.
Mhm.
Con, code, not codeine. It's called clonidine or something like that.
Mhm.
But it's like 0.1 milligram or something. So it's like really low milligram. But I tried it out last night and it helped my anxiety.
So that's what it's for anxiety?
Yeah,
That's what you understand it to be
anxiety.
for? And when was you prescribed that?
Wednesday, last
You
Wednesday.
picked it up from the pharmacy Friday, right?
Yeah, I picked it up Friday.
And you just started it last night? Is there a reason why you
I
delayed?
just tried it. She said take as needed. It's not
Oh,
like an everyday
PRN.
pill.
Okay. I
It's an
got you.
everyday. It's like when you need it.
Okay. And you haven't relapsed since the alcohol incident?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I took a drug test every day last week.
Every day but
But
Friday, because
Friday,
it
they
blocks
wouldn't
you.
let me do
Right,
it Friday.
right.
But I went there.
You did. I remember I was there. I seen it in action. What's an early warning sign that you might be leading towards relapse? Because we emotionally relapse before we physically relapse.
It's really about the thoughts,
Yeah.
like more thinking. It gets in my head, and then that's when, you know.
Besides movies, dreams, is there any antecedents that lead to it, like an argument or a
I don't
conflict?
really have arguments because I don't have anybody to argue with.
Mhm.
I don't have any like relationships, or I mean, as far as like romantic relationships or anything. So,
Mhm.
no, not really.
Frustration regarding your housing
Yeah,
situation?
frustration maybe. Yeah,
Mhm.
the house thing. That's what got me that week. But other than that, everything's moving forward. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what about when things don't move forward?
I know. That's what I got to work on.
Right. What early warning signs have you experienced? Like, what do you notice about your body or your thinking?
Anxiety.
Anxiety? What does anxiety look like for you?
Um, Hands sweating, heart racing, mind's going crazy, too many thoughts.
Mhm.
Just, kind of like, I don't know, heavy breathing.
And then you look at the drug as an alleviation of that feeling?
Yeah. But I've been practicing the meditation thing. I do that at night to help you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I have an app on my phone. It tells you to lay in your bed and get comfortable. It like walks you through a process, and I fall asleep before it ever finishes.
What's
So
the
it
app
works.
called?
I have it right here. I knew you would ask.
You're right. I need these resources,
That's right. It's a really good app too.
Teach one, reach one.
That's right. Each one teach one. Okay, where's that now? I have so many apps on my phone. Wow. Okay, let me just pull it up on the side. It always helps. Meditation. Put on the spot. You can find something. Okay.
You should put it in its own special folder
I
called
know. Well, you and your
Toolkit.
folders. I love you. You and your folders. Really, where is it? Okay. Wow. Simple habit. Yeah, simple habit. It was right in my face. Look.
Simple habit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Is it a paid app or a free app?
it's free, but I think to unlock some of the some of the things on here, you have to pay for it. They have like rain, and then they have let's see, show you. Okay, here it is. See, to unlock Simple Habit Premium, you gotta, I guess, pay for it or something. I don't
Okay.
know.
And you find it to be beneficial, especially at
Yes,
night when you have these
definitely.
fleeting thoughts?
Yes.
That's good. What can people do to prevent an early warning sign from becoming a relapse? what can people do, just in general, I guess, to prevent an early warning sign from becoming a relapse?
NA meetings, I don't know.
Hmm?
NA meetings?
Okay. Anything else come to mind? Distraction, maybe?
Yeah.
Journaling?
Journaling.
Talking to a support?
Diary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out to your support team.
Right. And how can a family member or other supporter be a part of the relapse prevention plan?
Family support. What?
Yeah, how can a family or a natural support, how can they be a part of your relapse prevention plan? Probably, them having a copy of your crisis plan or a copy of your relapse prevention plan so they can see mannerism or behaviors that might trigger you so they can help you alleviate them.
Yeah, well, that's what the RAT program is for.
Mm-hmm. That too. Right. The relapse prevention plan is very similar to the RAT.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Good stuff. All right. We're gonna look at your I guess it's your homework.
I guess they have to be sober to be able to help me, right?
That's helpful. That's helpful. Which of the following is a common situation or event that might trigger a relapse? Being under stress, receiving a phone call, or reading. A common situation or event that might trigger a relapse.
Stress.
Being
And
under
a phone call.
stress. And
Really?
a phone call that could induce stress, right? Depending. Okay. Which two of the following items are examples of common early warning signs? Feeling tense or nervous, having trouble sleeping, feeling calm.
Sleeping and the first two.
Yeah, feeling tense or nervous and having trouble sleeping. Those can be early warning signs.
Yep.
One thing people can do to prevent an early warning sign from becoming a relapse is consult with someone on their treatment team, stop taking medication, or keep the information to themselves. Which one of those do you think they can do in order to prevent an early, to address it early? Yeah, reach out to your treatment team. Reach out to your
staying up late is a trigger
supports.
for me too. I forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, I know all this stuff, and it's just hard to take on the spot, but yeah, staying up
That's
late
cool.
is an issue for me.
So when you stay up late, you're more apt to
Yeah,
have those thought
because
patterns?
when I used to get high, I used to stay up late or stay all up every night,
Mhm.
whatever.
Right.
So staying up past a certain time is a trigger for me.
Right. What time is that?
Like anytime after 12. Well, my grandma always said, anything after 12, ain't nothing happening after 12, that's good anyway.
Your grandma sounds like a very wise person.
Yeah, definitely.
People often ask family members or other supporters to be a part of their relapse prevention plan by 1, taking over and doing everything, 2, being alert to early warning signs, or 3, ignoring problems they see. Which one?
Middle.
Being alert to early warning signs. We just talked about that. How if they know what your triggers are, then they can be more helpful. Like, oh, let's get you that support, do that wraparound.
Yeah.
Indeed.
In the RAT program, they have the numbers and stuff that you put on there for people to help you, or like you said, give them a copy of your crisis plan.
Right.
Or if they see you acting a certain way, they know that something good ain't coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to praise you for when you did have your relapse, you immediately addressed your efforts for recovery. You immediately reported it, immediately got on track, immediately did things, activated an action plan in order to alleviate additional consequences that might be associated with it, accepted the consequences once you truly understood them, and ready to move forward.
Also, you have to realize, I also educated myself. I looked up what a lapse and a relapse and all that meant.
Yeah. Education is key.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a difference between a lapse and a relapse. But a lapse is a slip up, and a relapse is when you go back out into it.
Right.
It takes you a while to come back, but
You
lapse, slip up.
Right. Whoa, what's it? All right. Drink. Get a drink of your water before we start reading and talking. It's right here. While you're doing that, I'll start reading this, okay?
Okay. Read away.
This is a quote by David Klein. My dreams seemed to get more intense before a relapse was coming, and I would find myself getting up earlier. Racing thoughts were another sign. They seemed to come on rapidly. I would think of new things to produce, such as sculptures or a story. Not everything about it was bad, but I needed to treat it swiftly, or it would get out of hand.
Everything I just said.
That's a quote by David Kahn, who's an artist, a writer, a floor designer, and recovering from bipolar disorder.
I didn't know you can recover from bipolar disorder.
He's in recovery, which means he's actively working.
Oh, I'm just saying, I didn't know you could recover from that.
Well, recover doesn't mean like you're cured.
Oh, no.
It just means that you're actively addressing it. You're working on it, reducing the symptoms, addressing the symptoms, so it doesn't take over your life. Because, without medication, without treatment, we could ride that roller coaster of depression and mania and depression and mania.
I'm self-medicated.
Right. So addressing it appropriately is in recovery from. This handout discusses strategies for reducing relapses of symptoms or for monitoring the severity of any relapses that might occur. To reduce relapses, it helps if you identify stressful situations that have contributed to past relapses. It also helps if you identify your own warning signs for an impending relapse, and you can include this information in a relapse prevention plan. This plan can be even more effective if you include a family member or other supporter.
Like the other supporter probably better.
At this point, based on what you told me, yes.
I mean, the truth, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Why do people have relapses? Can you read that first paragraph?
The symptoms of mental illness tend to vary in intensity over time. Sometimes the symptoms may be absent, sometimes they may be mild or moderate, or sometimes they may be strong.
Okay.
When
no, we're going to take turns. That way we preserve our voices. Yeah. Okay. When psychiatric symptoms become severe, the condition is usually referred to as a relapse or an acute episode of the illness. Some relapses can be managed at home, but others require hospitalization to protect the person or other people.
Mental illnesses affect people in different ways. Some people have milder forms of their illness and have an episode only once or a few times in their lives. Other people have stronger forms of their illnesses and have several episodes. Some require hospitalization. Further, some people experience symptoms consistently, but do not have severe episodes that require hospitalization.
Scientists have not been able to identify all the reasons that people have relapses. However, research has shown that relapses are more likely to occur when the following occur. People are under more stress, people stop taking their medications, and people use alcohol or drugs. Mental illnesses tend to be episodic, with symptoms varying in intensity over time. So preventing and reducing relapses. There's a couple of things you can do, and that's what IMR is going to help you with. You can learn as much as possible about your illnesses. What are your diagnoses?
Bipolar, PTSD, and I think that's it.
And then your substance use disorders that are associated with it as well. Learning as much as possible about your illnesses, being aware of your own symptoms, being aware of when you are under stress and developing...
ADHD, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Being aware of when you are under stress and developing strategies for coping with stress, participating in treatments that help you recover, building social supports, and using medications effectively. In this session, we're going to learn more helpful strategies for staying well, including recognizing events or situations that contributed to relapses in the past, recognizing the early warning signs that might be starting to have a relapse, developing your own relapse prevention plan to respond to early warning signs, and using the help of other people, such as family members or other supporters, to prevent early warning signs from becoming full-blown relapses. A key takeaway is You can use different strategies to prevent or reduce relapses. So what are some common events or situations that can trigger relapses? Some people can identify certain events or situations that appear to have led to relapses in the past. These can be thought of as a triggering relapse. Some triggering relapses might be a birthday party, anniversary, the anniversary of a death, like when a loved one might have passed away. Triggering event might be a damaging financial situation or a financial conflict. Arguing with your children, or arguing with a significant other, or not just having a conflict, so they're not abiding by what you want them to do or how to do it or do it appropriately. To be honest, it could also be conflicts with treatment providers. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're not getting what you need out of the treatment. You're not getting the effectiveness of it. Even your psychiatrist, who may not be appropriately addressing your symptoms based on what you're reporting and their own assessment of what's going on. Once you have identified a situation that seemed to trigger a relapse in the past, think about how you might handle the situation differently if it were to occur again. For example, if you notice that drinking beer with your friends tends to trigger an episode, you could plan some activities with them that do not involve drinking. If you notice that being under stress tends to trigger an episode, you could plan to use a specific relaxation technique, such as deep breathing, the next time you encounter a stressful situation. A takeaway: identifying situations and events that triggered relapses in the past can help you reduce the risk of future relapses, right?
Right.
Okay. Questionnaire. Have you experienced a relapse? Well, we already know the answer, but we'll just do it anyway.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I started staying out late and not getting enough rest, I tended to relapse. Did you experience this?
I didn't stay out late, but maybe getting enough rest, maybe stress.
Yeah. When I'm under more stress at work, like having strict deadlines, I'm likely to start having symptoms again. Do you experience this? Every time I go back to drinking beers every night, I end up needing to go back to the hospital. Have you ever been hospitalized because of your addiction?
No, I never really drank. So.
No, just substitute the word drinking with something else.
No, I never been to the hospital for any
Okay.
month.
When there's a change in my life, even a good change, like moving into a better apartment, I tend to feel stressed out. Then the symptoms seem to come back.
I haven't moved yet, so I would know.
You never moved?
I haven't moved
In your whole life?
time. Yeah, but yeah, I guess so.
If I have arguments with my boyfriend or girlfriend, it really brings me down. Sometimes the symptoms get worse then.
Yeah.
The biggest problem for me is when I stop taking medicine. Before long, the symptoms start again.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything else that you could think of as a trigger?
No, there are no triggers.
Indeed. What are early warning signs? I'm not going to go into detail, but early warning signs are the subtle changes in a person's inner experience and behavior that signal that a relapse may be starting. You said that you have an uptick of anxiety. You said anxiety looks like racing thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thinking about everything I got to do, what I need to do, what I can all do in 8 hours in a day. Just stress.
When a relapse is starting, often the person's inner experience and behavior change. For some, it might be subtle. For some, it may be more obvious. But the more aware you are of these things, the better off you'll be, right? All right, another checklist. So fun today. Have you experienced any relapses of your symptoms? Or so did you notice any warning signs? Here are some early warning signs. Feeling tense or nervous. Eating less or eating more. Having decreased need for sleep.
No, I take my medication, so not that problem.
Oh, that's just like in general, not like in the past before you might have been medicated. Has this been an issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you talking about now or before? That's what I need to know.
That reflect your experience. So across the board.
Well, then all of it then.
Okay, I'm still gonna go through them. Okay. Having trouble sleeping, too much or too little.
Yeah.
Feeling depressed or low.
Yep.
Withdrawing socially.
Social butterflies.
Okay. Feeling irritable.
Yes.
Stopping medication.
Yes.
Having trouble concentrating.
Yes.
Thinking that people are against you.
Yep.
Hearing voices.
I've had heard voices.
Using or abusing drugs or alcohol.
Yep.
Increased spending or shopping.
Yep.
Being overconfident about your abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Some other early warning signs might be something that's not so obvious, some unique ones. Some examples are before my last 2 sessions, I cut my hair very, very short. You recently had a hair upgrade. You did a blowout, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think that might have been indicative of going towards relapse?
No.
Was that before or after?
That was after. I needed to make myself feel better.
My brother noticed that I was whistling all the time. I started buying lottery tickets 2 or 3 times a day.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I started wearing the same clothes every day, the same khaki pants and blue t-shirt.
Yeah.
I became preoccupied with martial arts. I practiced martial arts moves for hours.
Yeah.
Some people have unique early warning signs. Do you have any unique early warning signs?
Probably not.
Do people always recognize that they're experiencing early warning signs?
If I do, I don't know it, but go ahead. What?
Do people always recognize that they are experiencing early warning signs? People are not always aware when their behavior has changed and they are experiencing early warning signs of relapse. For example, people might not realize that they are feeling unusually irritable. Instead, it may seem that other people are being especially annoying.
That might be true.
Friends, family members, coworkers, practitioners, and other supporters might often notice when someone seems different or acts out of character. These people can be helpful allies in recognizing early warning signs.
Right.
If you ask them, they can be your extra eyes and ears for noticing early warning signs. You can tell them some possible early warning signs to look for and let them know that you would like them to tell you when they notice these signs. You can also include them in your relapse prevention plan to help you take action and avoid experiencing a relapse. Who are some supportive people to help you recognize early warning signs?
Friends, no. Family members.
Speak up, please. I can hear you.
Family, friends, no.
Do
Probably.
you can identify one family member
I
that
really
would be
can't.
deemed to support? What about your daughter, your
Yeah,
oldest
my oldest
daughter?
daughter, yes, but I don't like to, for some reason, she's got her own life and stuff, and I don't want her to be bothered with me. She's got a lot going on too, and she is a very stressful child, a very worrier,
Mm-hmm.
so she's not really a good candidate, to be honest.
Understand.
She has bad, like I have anxiety, she has it times 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she wouldn't be I might make her start drinking or doing drugs, probably, with my shit, Therefore, yeah, leave her alone. Probably best, no, I'm saying, it'd be better for me to just reach out to my support team
Okay.
or my sponsor.
Your support team, so your
or,
CST, your therapist,
yeah,
your peer support, your
other people in,
your SA, what do they call it? Your sponsor.
yeah.
Anybody
Reach
else
out to
come to
other
mind?
people, I have phone numbers of other people that are in NA.
When they're actively in recovery?
Yes,
Be careful.
I know that, but I'm just saying, that's what they tell you to do. That's what my sponsor told me to do, to reach out to people in my NA group, which is not, I don't feel like it's a good idea all the time, but people that have years, I guess.
Oh, years. Like more grandfathered in, more veteran
Yeah.
status, not newbies.
Yeah, I say maybe 3 years or up. I mean, I don't know. Who am I to judge? I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. Like, not somebody that just started out, no.
Okay. What can you do when you know you're experiencing an early warning sign? The more quickly you act on early warning signs, the more likely you can avoid a full relapse. When you notice early warning signs, it helps to ask yourself the following questions.
Am I hungry? Am I too hungry? No, is it, am I hungry? What does that saying go?
There's an acronym.
Yeah.
It's called HALT.
Yeah.
Don't get too hungry. Don't get too angry. Don't get too lonely. Don't get too tired.
That's right.
But these are just questions you can ask yourself according to the IMR. Is my stress level high? And if so, what can I do to reduce it?
That's the biggest one.
Mm-hmm. Am I taking part in the treatments I chose? Am I going to my support groups, doing my relaxation exercises, going to my appointments with my counselor, etc.? If medication is part of my treatment, am I taking my medication as prescribed? And should I arrange a special appointment to talk to my doctor? Do I need to start a different medication? Do I need a higher dose of the medication I am taking?
That's right.
A takeaway is the more quickly you can act on early warning signs, the more likely you can avoid a full relapse.
That's right.
Here's some examples of people who address their early warning signs. When I started to feel so irritable with everyone, even my best friend, I realized that I was under a lot of stress with changes at the office. I talked with my practitioner about strategies for coping with the stress better, so it didn't affect me so much. Another person said, first, someone called from my synagogue asking why I hadn't been coming to services. Then someone from my support group called and asked why I hadn't been coming in the past 3 weeks. I realized that something might be wrong. I decided to go to the next support group and asked a friend to give me a ride. Another person said, I thought my medicine wasn't helping me, so I didn't renew my prescription when it ran out. My thinking got very confused. I kept forgetting things too. I called the pharmacist about getting the medication renewed, and then I called the doctor to talk about what had happened. And then someone else said, my brother noticed empty beer bottles in the kitchen when he came to visit. When we got to talking, I realized that I was starting to use alcohol to help me fall asleep. The next day, I called my counselor. Have you had any experience where you were able to act on early warning signs and avoid a full relapse?
Yeah, the other day. I drank them 2 drinks, and the next day I knew I had to. I knew that I had to go to take a UA, and I still did it. But then I reached out for help and came up with a crisis plan.
Right.
Called you, called everyone, and I knew they were any help, and figured it out. Got back on track.
And can you name another incident where you didn't actually use?
I mean, this is the first time I ever.
No, I mean, like you had an
clean.
early warning sign. I mean, I'm sure you've been stressed before and you was able to alleviate it.
But
Tell me about that.
I just used my breathing techniques. I reached out to the support team. I did everything. But that was real late at night when I did that, and I didn't know who to call. So I did it and didn't think. I wasn't thinking. I stayed up too late.
And you said that was a trigger for you.
Yeah.
How can you make a relapse prevention plan? It's impossible to predict who will have only 1 or 2 acute episodes of the symptoms of mental illnesses and who will have more. Making a relapse prevention plan can help avoid relapses and minimize the severity of episodes. In developing a relapse prevention plan, it may help to consult with the supportive people in your life. Peers, practitioners, family members, and others can help you remember details about what helped in past situations and suggest possible steps to take when early warning signs appear. Support people can also have a part in the plan itself. If you would like, for example, you might ask family members to let you know if they notice early warning signs or ask them to help you reduce stress by taking a walk with you. Of course, you may make the final decision about what you want in your plan and whom you want involved. Plans for preventing relapses are more effective if they have the following: reminders of past triggers, reminders of past early warning signs, things to do to help when you are experiencing an early warning sign, people to help you, and people to contact in case of an emergency. And on your sheet, you see an example of Alberto's relapse prevention plan. You see that he had a reminder of events or situations that triggered episodes in the past. Those reminders was when he broke up with his girlfriend and when he smoked marijuana. He had a reminder of early warning signs that he experienced in the past. He felt tense and irritable, thought people were picking on him and didn't like him, and he couldn't concentrate on TV. When he thought when he could think would people help him if he had experienced some early warning signs. If I smoking marijuana again, I need to stop and maybe go back to my double trouble group. If I'm upset about something that happened, I need to talk to my friend Juan or to my brother Martin. If I'm feeling stressed out, I need to make sure I'm doing something to relax me every day, like listening to music or biking. If I start to feel like people are picking on me or I can't concentrate, I need to talk to my counselor. And if I still don't feel better, I need to consider more medication, at least for a short time. Then he was like, who would like to help me and what I would like for them to do? And he went into detail about how he would like Juan or Martin could help him think about when he's starting to get irritable, that they could talk to him. Juan could go biking with him. His counselor could help him think of ways to relax. And his doctor could help him decide if he needs more medicine. And who would he like to contact in case of emergency? He indicated his brother Martin, Maria Rodriguez, his counselor, and Dr. Rose, his doctor. Before developing his relapse prevention plan, Alberto talked with the supportive people in his life, his friend, brother, counselor, and doctor. He asked them what they had observed before his last relapse, included some of their observations in his list of early warning signs. So the takeaway is a relapse prevention plan should contain these items: reminders of past triggers, reminders of past early warning signs, things that help you when you're experiencing an early warning sign, and people to help you, and people to contact in case of emergency. What would you include in your relapse prevention plan?
Homework.
You said what?
I said homework.
I guess. So for homework, I'm going to assign you to do this sheet, the relapse prevention plan.
Okay.
Do you think you can have that done by the next session?
I can, and the summary of the main points preventing
You want to summarize it real quick?
about preventing or reducing relapse.
Summary of the main points about preventing or reducing relapses. We're going to summarize real quick.
Okay.
Mental illnesses tend to be episodic with symptoms varying in intensity over time. You can use different strategies to prevent or reduce relapses. Identifying situations and events that trigger relapses in the past can help you reduce the risk of future relapses. Early warning signs are the subtle changes in the person's inner experience and behavior that signal that a relapse may be starting. Some people have unique early warning signs, common early warning signs, like feeling tense or nervous, eating less or eating more, having trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, decreased need for sleep, feeling depressed or low, etc. Some people have unique early warning signs. Some common early warning signs include the following: reminders of past triggers, reminders of past early warning signs, things that help you when you're having an early warning sign, people to help you, and people who would like to contact in case of emergency. The more quickly you act on early warning signs, the more likely you can avoid a full relapse. And friends, family practitioners, and other supporters can help you develop your relapse prevention plan and help carry it out. And like we said before, for homework, we decided that we're going to do your relapse prevention plan, where you will identify events or situations that triggered relapses in the past, early warning signs that you experienced in the past, things that helped me when I experienced an early warning sign, people who helped me and what I would like for them to do, and people I would like to contact in case of an emergency. And like we said before, it's the type of plan that you would share with your supporters. That way they can be on board regarding getting you the help you need.
All right.
You dig it? Do you have any questions, concerns, or issues?
No, it was a great session. Thank you.
All right. I look forward to seeing you. Let's set the schedule for our next session.
Okay.
Monday, 11:30? What day works for you?
What's Monday? What day?
Well, Monday was the day we were supposed to originally have the session.
Yeah, what's Monday's date? Is what I'm asking.
Monday's date is the 26th.
Okay.
11:30? Put it in my calendar.
I'll put it in my calendar when I get in the car. I have my book in the car.
Your phone is probably your best calendar.
Yeah, but I keep everything in that little book, little purple book I have in the car. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.